So what's going on with y'all? Uh, Rom Hotep, once again back with another episode, another segment. Um, I said I was gonna go ahead and address this situation with Kanye. So that's what I'm gonna do here on this episode. Now you guys know if I'm doing an episode on somebody like a so-called celebrity or somebody famous, I use that term very loosely because I mean, to me, like I said, we're all just family. These are just people that we all share the same legacy. We all are part of the same gang. We all are part of the same movement, really. But when I do something, when I dedicate something to somebody like a certain celebrity or something, there's always a hidden or caught reason why I'm doing it, of which I won't really decode here. But what I want to do real quick is just kind of break down what's going on with Kanye West and why Kanye is sick or whatever the case may be. They're saying that he was hospitalized somewhere around the time on Thanksgiving. Yada yada yada, whatever the case may be. So I'm going to go into that. But first, I want to say like Kanye, he really he represents. Kanye represents the Starseed movement, like for real, for real. Like I mean, he's really like one of the oldest Starseeds, really. If you look at it as far as like the Starseed movement, Kanye West is like a genius, man. I mean, he's not an indigo. He's like a flower child. Actually, is what he is, according to the whole Starseed doctrine. He would be considered a flower child. So they came from kind of like the generation of like love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. They come from that type of principle. So their whole thing is about promoting what's right, for the most part. But what happened with Kanye is that he kind of got a little bit of indigo mixed up in with him, and Kanye kind of got caught up into kind of like he got caught in the middle of a lot of things. And in order for Kanye, if Kanye wants to pull through this scenario that he's going through, because I do believe that the story is real. I do believe that part of it is real anyway, but I do believe that he is definitely sick and going through some things, but I believe that he's going through some things based on some oaths and covenants and things that he took, some covenants and things like that he took in dealing with this occult. Because as you know, he's into the artist movement. He's into the, he's a musician. He's an artist, and what happened with Kanye is deep. I don't want to like really spill too much of the beans, but he kind of took a high level oath. Is what happened with Kanye, and I believe that he took this oath for like around 2011, 2012, and Kanye, he wants to get into the like real high aspects of the artist movement to where he wants to control things without being known. He wants to be called, if you remember when I did the 5 Elements video, and I talked about like the different posts in hip hop, Kanye is trying to be like an executor or executioner or an executor, an executive ruler. He wants to be an exec, a true exec, because you got a lot of puppets up there now, a lot of puppet execs, and that's why he's going, and that's where he's catching a lot of his flack at, because he's still an artist. So you see, he kind of like is caught in the middle of a lot of things. Because if you remember, he talked a lot about Beyonce. He was going off on her and saying that saying some things or whatever, and that's all kind of like coded language. He's speaking on some politics that's going on in the music industry and things of that nature, and there's some people in the industry that's in his inner circle that are very jealous of him and that are trying to block him from getting to this next level where he wants to get. Because he took a high level oath, and the oath is so high level that if he's not successful in his movement, he could become a sacrifice. If you remember, Kanye West made a song called Jesus Walks. So Kanye West, he represents Jesus. That's what you got to remember. He represents Jesus in the music industry. The artistic version of Jesus, the revolutionary version of Jesus. Don't get it twisted. Kanye West is on some radical ass shit. So when I say he took a certain oath, I'm not saying he's controlled to the point, like I'm not speaking like on him like Oh, he took an oath. He's controlled, and he has to make a sacrifice and all of that. He's controlled by this higher group. It's like this. He basically went into some rituals and made some, and he went into some rituals and made some oaths when he was an artist and put himself up under certain people. If you remember, he kind of was like up under Jay-Z and Rockefeller. Then he kind of broke away and got his own music label, Good Music. And he put out, Big Sean and different people affiliated with like Kid Cudi and John Legend and them. And then you notice it kind of like stopped a little bit, like he's not really releasing a lot of other people. And it kind of like shifted back, and it's like you're starting to see him because he's still doing like shows and he's still doing concerts and things of that nature. So he's kind of like caught in the middle. That's what I'm kind of speaking of. So he's really like, he took an oath to where like if he's fucking with a lot of money. And if you look at his house, it kind of can tell you like, Kanye got a beautiful ass house. If you look at his house, it'll kind of show you what the type of dough he's playing with. And he's playing with a lot of dough, and the thing is that when you sign those deals, he signed a really high level deal. It was called like a 360 deal. And then the 360 deal is really like when you sign a deal like that, you're not really gonna be successful in it unless you are totally behind the scenes. So what Kanye really is trying to do is he's trying to go behind the scenes. But at the same time, he's going through a war because of the fact that there's a war between the religious heads and the political figures, and then the artists and the celebrities and the star seeds and people that are involved into what's called the arts. So what's going on is that Kanye West has a lot of money that's owed to him at the same time, but then at the same time, he kind of owes a lot of people too at the same time because he's in what's called an executive position. And a lot of you kind of may not understand this, but when you're an executor, you sign a deal and then you go out and sign other people up under you, you give them deals. So what happens is that if they don't perform and they don't do well, that ends up falling back on you. So you're ultimately the one responsible for making sure that that seed money or that investment is recouped. And what happened is what's going on with Kanye and his circle is a conspiracy because the reason I'm saying it's a conspiracy because you got people within his inner circle that are trying to sabotage them. They want his spot. They want to be the executive. Kanye got like a media deal. He got like a lot. It's a lot involved in Kanye's thing. Like it's a lot involved or whatever. But so he's caught up in between a lot of things. He's caught up in between a lot of things. And the reason why he started talking about Beyonce and them is because if you remember, Beyonce and them, they supported Hillary Clinton. If you remember that, her and her husband supported Hillary Clinton for the most part. They performed for her and things of that nature. He's put out there that he was with Donald Trump. See, that's another thing. See, he's still he's verbally still saying a lot and doing a lot. And that's kind of like where he's messing up at. So someone psychically attacked Kanye West. That's where I'm pretty much getting at. And he's up under kind of like a spell. And he has to break that spell. And that spell that he's up under, based on my readings and my channelings, I'm just going to get to the meat of this video, is based on the number 3. So he has to break the spell based upon the number 3 if he wants to get out of this situation. He's up under a deep spell with the number 3. And if you remember, I said Kanye represents Jesus in the music industry. And if you remember, Jesus died on the cross at the age of 33. At the age of 33, Jesus died on the cross. So Kanye is in what's called a crossroads situation in his life. He's a genius. He has all of this creative talent. He's an artist. He's really like meant to be in front of people. According to the 13th sign system, I believe he's a Taurus. He's ruled by Venus. So he's an artist, he likes to speak and be in front of people and things of that nature. However, he's an executive too, though. He's an executive, trying to be an executive ruler. He's a Moor too. So he has the ability to be behind the scenes and be kind of like a puppet master and be able to control some people and things like that. But in the control situations without physically putting his face out there. But he's having a problem with that because he's being sabotaged by people that's in his inner circle that owe him a lot of money. So he's looked at like he's owing a lot of people a lot of money. If you remember, they say he canceled all of these shows. If you look at these shows were probably people that booked him, and then they book him and they try to sabotage him. He comes to the show and they booing him and giving him a hard time because they're really trying to like make him go defunct, because Kanye, he represents like the light workers though. So that's what I'm saying. So a lot of the dark workers in the industry don't like Kanye because he didn't come up off that whole I'm a D-boy, this is what I did, this is how many people I done robbed and I done jacked, or he ain't come up off of the movement like where he on some soft shit where it's like he's a part of that whole I don't, you know what I'm saying, I'm a dude but I'm fucking with other dudes, I'm on some gay shit type of thing. Like he represents straight up start, like Kanye West is a fucking radical, man. Like he, I mean, at the end of the day, like he puts out the type of music he want to put out when he was putting out music, so he's known as a radical, and now he's trying to go behind the scenes because he's realizing that his image, he's making so much money, he got so much talent, his image is causing him so many problems that he's like, man, you know what? It's probably just better if I just go behind the scenes and just go ahead and work on these artists, and produce these artists, work on these media deals and things of this nature. So he's kind of caught up in a situation like that. And his life is kind of like on the line because it's like if he don't produce a certain amount of money and work out this financial problem that he's having, and work out this problem that he's having with the number 3. He's having, again, a deep problem with the number 3. If he doesn't work out this problem that he's having with the number 3, the worst could be yet to come for him. So it's kind of like in a way he's on his deathbed. That's why they say he's been hospitalized. Hospitalized, very key. They talking about his wife Kim Kardashian. She got robbed of certain monies. That's a whole other story that was in the news. So if you notice, there's a lot about Kanye that's been in the media lately because see, he's a melanated brother, man, and they don't like people like us. He reminds me a lot of myself. That's why I'm saying us, and I'm just gonna keep it real, like because they don't like people like us. He knows a lot to where he could be a controller. Like he could be like a Rick Rubin. That's basically what I'm saying. He could be like a behind the scenes cat, like a Russell Simmons or somebody like that, or you know, or even thinking about somebody else that's behind the scenes that's really popular. But you know where I'm getting at. He could be a deep behind the scenes cat, but at the same time he has this image, so they don't really want the world to see somebody like him become successful. So Kanye may have to get to a point where he may have to disappear from the public eye. He may have to make some decisions like that, so that he can work out some of his karma that he has with the number 33. So I want to just send a shout out to Kanye. You know, he's in the best of my, definitely in my prayers. I would say he definitely needs to study the number 33. He needs to study a lot of the feminine energy because, of course, he's going to have a lot of women that are people that are hating on him. He needs to watch his inner circle, watch the people that are around him, because those people that are around him, they're the ones that's really causing a lot of this trouble that he's in. And like I said, he signed a 360 deal, so he's going to have to figure out how he's going to get paid his money because they are extorting the fuck out of you, Kanye. They don't want to see you make it. They don't want to see you become shit. They're extorting you to a very high level, and it's both sides. I mean, I know you saying that you would. That's why I don't get involved in politics. Like you saying, oh, I would have voted for Donald Trump and all of that. That's probably a stage thing that he's doing, but I wouldn't have said none of that if I was him. Don't take a side. Like we totally independent. We're part of the Starseed movement. They look at us like fucking aliens, man. And to them, you already dead anyway. At the end of the day, and they're making money off of your straw man name, and your straw man is what's got you fucked up because it's in the middle of your straw man is what owes money, is what's owed the money. What you're gonna have to do as a king is set yourself up and make yourself into a king. And this is my advice to Kanye now, because me and Kanye have a personal relationship. And you're gonna have to separate your straw man from your physical or your stage stuff that you got going on in the media and all of that type of stuff. You're going to have to either set up a new straw man or something like that, but you're going to have to get to a point where you separate that because you're being extorted by fraternal orders. You're being extorted by the news and the media. I'm sure Kanye already knows this, but you're going to have to separate that. So that's probably why he probably already knows all of this. That's probably why he canceled all of his shows and all of that. And he's kind of just laying back and he's saying he's doing better because you're going to have to collect on, you're a bill collector now. Them people, they extorted you. They stole money off you. They owe you guap. And you're going to have to deal with the number 3, and a good number, a positive number that you're going to have to work with is the number 9. That's your power number, Kanye. The number 3 is that's your opposing force. That's the number that's trying to hold you back. And the balancing number for you is the number 6. for Kanye. So he's dealing with this thing with this 369, which represents the 360 deal that he signed. When you sign a 360 deal, you put yourself up as a sacrifice. If you don't make good on that deal, they will sacrifice you. They have you. You're a targeted individual, a TI, a targeted individual. I do a video on that. That's where TI. That's why he calls himself TI, because you're a targeted individual. Once you get into the high level of this music industry thing, and they're trying to hold you accountable for all of this money and all of this, but only God can judge you. You got to be like Tupac. You worth billions. They owe you that money at the end of the day. And you're going to have to just accept the situation for value, separate your straw man name, learn how to break all contracts that you have made, and break those contracts. So you're going to have to learn how to make contracts, or you've already learned how to make contracts. Now you're going to have to learn how to reject those contracts. And there's a way that you can do that. And you need to fire all of the people around you. I'm keeping it real. Learn as much about business as you can. Fire these motherfuckers around you that's saying they're here to help you and all of this shit, because they're not here to help you at the end of the day. These people are here to extort you, Kanye. Like, I'm just keeping it real. Like, these people that's over you, that they're saying that you owe them the money, and the people that's up under you are trying to extort you. What's going to happen is, if you do die, a bunch of insurance money and estate money is going to get freed up. You like Michael Jackson. Kanye West is in the seat of Michael Jackson right now. Where Michael Jackson was at back in the day, that's where Kanye was at. Is at right now. So you're going to have to, I mean, I'm not going to go on. I could do a video about Michael Jackson and all that, but I wrote an article about that, so I'm not going to go into that. But you're going to have to kind of like learn how to separate your straw man. So you might have to be like Biggie did, and do what Biggie's said do. Like he said, you're nobody till somebody kills you. So you might just have to die on their ass and disappear like that. You know, and do one of them, they call it the Kabbalah King move. That's what I call it, the Kabbalah King move. That's right. A lot of these so-called artists that they saying are dead aren't dead. See, they've made oaths and things like that with the Kabbalah and things of that nature. So it's a lot. It's a lot that I can say about it. Again, study the number 3. That's your enemy number. That's the number that's against you. Work with the number 9. Do these rituals. Your best time for you to do rituals would be just stay out the scene, because they're trying to do a Thanksgiving ritual on you. That's a whole nother story. And that's why they put the story out at Thanksgiving. So stay off the scene until next year, until the holidays are over with. So I'm going to go ahead and shut down. I thank you guys for listening. I thank you guys for watching. Until we meet again, peace.